Celtics fans, what's going on? It's Will Scott here with Celtics Today by Chat Sports. We got a show ahead talking about some Celtics news and Celtics rumors. But first, go down and subscribe to the channel because we are fast approaching the season opener against the Philadelphia 76ers. The season is almost here. They had media day yesterday. Training camp days away, preseason opener on October 4th. A lot of things to look forward to. Go down, subscribe to the channel, make sure you're ready for the season. Let's talk about some trade rumors first on today's show. And the guy that's been heavily involved in NBA trade rumors recently has been Jae Crowder of the Phoenix Suns. Obviously a familiar name. He played for the C's from 2014 to 2017. Charania reported yesterday that both the Suns and Crowder are working on a trade out of Phoenix. So at this point, it's when, not if. He is going to get traded, and he is skipping training camp as he is expecting to be traded. So a lot of people have been talking over the last week or two, where is Crowder going to get traded? Charania chimed in on that yesterday. Here's what he said. Sources tell me that both the Suns and Crowder are now working towards finding him a trade out of Phoenix. Look for teams like Boston, Memphis, Dallas, and Miami. So the Celtics, according to Charania, in the running here for Jae Crowder. They have been linked to Jae, and this is significant because this is Shams and not a random Twitter guy out there reporting this. So Charania is saying that the Celtics might be interested in Jae Crowder. So let me pose this question to you. Do you want to trade for Jae Crowder? Type T for trade or type P for pass down in the comment section. It's the pinned comment. Reply to it when you get a second. Do you want to trade for Jae Crowder? Bring him back to Boston. Here's what he did last season with the Phoenix Suns. He's still a solid player, even though he's aging a little bit. 9.4 points per game, 5.3 rebounds per game, nearly a 2 assists per game, 1.5 steals per game for Jae Crowder. So I really like Jae, and I think he'd be a really good fit with this current Celtics team. He's trying to win a ring. He's a winner. I mean, everywhere he's gone, he's been on winning basketball teams, including in Phoenix and Miami and in Boston, of course. So I think it makes a lot of sense to bring him back. When you're looking at potential destinations, here are those destinations. Here are the 4 teams that Charania said would be interested potentially in Jae Crowder services: Boston, Memphis, Dallas, and Miami. All 4 of those teams arguably contenders. Memphis finished second in the West last year. Dallas made the Western Conference Finals. The Heat lost to the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. So those are the 4 teams that are in on Jae Crowder. I would be surprised to see him end up with another squad, but the Boston Celtics very much in the mix here for Jae Crowder. Here's what Jae Crowder tweeted. I believe this was 2 days ago. One must seek work where he, and I'm going to read this loudly because it's in all caps. One must seek work where he is wanted, where he is needed. I am thankful for what these past 2 years have taught me. I must take on another challenge for continued hard work and dedication. For those of you who closed the door on me, thank you. 99 back soon in a bunch of random emojis. So Jae Crowder with the interesting tweet there, all caps. I don't know why it's in all caps, but maybe he just wanted to emphasize that he's going to get traded. When I read this tweet, you know what I think of? I think of this. I think we need Jae Crowder back in Boston. I think it would be a tremendous trade for the Celtics. I'm going to get into more thoughts on this in a second. But first, let me tell you about this great deal we're giving you on this Celtics shirt. If you go to chatsports.com/Celtics shirt, 2 S's there, Celtics shirt, you can get this shirt for $24.99. It's on sale right now. Go and pick it up, chatsports.com/Celtics shirt. Season's coming up. You want to rep the C's, get that shirt. So here's what's worth noting in terms of potential Crowder trade. He's entering the final year of his deal. So it's not like you're trading for a guy that has multiple years on his contract. He's set to make $10.1 million this season. That means he does not fit in to the Celtics' remaining TPEs. The Celtics have a $6.1 million and a $4.9 million TPE. Crowder does not fit into that. I don't really think that's that big of a deal. You know, the Celtics will figure it out with the cap. The Suns are interested in trading him potentially because they want to increase playing time for Cam Johnson. They don't really see Crowder as part of the future of this team. The Celtics need a power forward after Danilo Gallinari tore his ACL. We've talked about potential Gallo replacements. They desperately need some depth at the 4 and the 5, with Gallo being out probably the entire season and Robert Williams being out 8 to 12 weeks. And he'd probably be pretty cheap. I don't think you'd have to give up a first-round pick to get Jae Crowder. Maybe a second-round pick would get this done because he's entering the final year of his deal. That's really important when talking about a potential trade. He just has 1 year left. He's going to be a free agent next year. I think the Celtics need to pull the trigger if the price is right. I don't want to overpay for Jae Crowder. Guys, go down in the comments section and predict it. Where is Jae Crowder going to get traded? Go down in the comments section. Let me know. Is it going to be Dallas? Is it going to be Memphis? Is it going to be Boston, Miami? Those are the 4 teams that have been linked, according to Shams Charania, the 4 teams that are in on Jae Crowder. In my opinion, the Celtics make the most sense for both sides. Crowder's going to want to win a ring. The Celtics need some depth. There's familiarity with him in that organization and vice versa. He was coached by Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens is the president of basketball operations. It just makes way too much damn sense not to happen. Brad Stevens, pick up the phone, call Phoenix, and get this done. Jae Crowder would be a phenomenal addition on a Boston team that needs some depth at the 4. Let's talk about Celtics Media Day now, because the Celtics had their Media Day yesterday, and normally Media Day is really exciting for the players. Like they go back, to the facility, and it kind of feels like first day at school. They get to show off their jerseys, put some poses on the IG. It's obviously I'm not as good at posing as Tatum and JB and some of those other guys, but they like to have a lot of fun at Media Day. However, because of the Ime Udoka situation, Media Day was probably not very fun for the Celtics yesterday, because they had to answer a lot of questions. Pretty much every single player that took the podium was asked about Ime. Here is what Gary Washburn of the Boston Globe tweeted. How did Tatum find out about Udoka? Shit on Twitter like everyone else, said Jayson Tatum. So JT, like me, like producer Patrick Seaman, found out about the Ime Udoka situation, the scandal on Twitter. That's not great. Here's what Marcus Smart said about it. It's been hell for us. Nobody really knows anything, so we're just in the wind. Just like everyone else. The last couple of days have just been confusing. I still love Ime as a person, as a coach. It's just something unfortunate that happened to him. It doesn't take away from what he did as a coach. It doesn't take away from how he turned this team around, how he led this team to its first finals appearance in a long time. It's just unfortunate that this is where we're at. Here's what Jaylen Brown said. Even more interesting what JB said. I wish we had more details. From what we know, it's hard to make a decision about whether or not it's consensual or not in the workplace or whatever's going on. We've known that's happened before in the workplace, but I guess there's more to it possibly, which we don't know. I don't know. I don't have all the details. It's not being shared with me. So it's really hard to comment on something when you're not filled in with all the details. This is wild. I thought the players might have been briefed a little bit more on this than we have, but it seems like the players really don't know much. They're kind of in the same boat as us. I remember watching the press conference on Friday, and if that press conference had any meat whatsoever, any juice, I was going to get you guys a video, but it was just a big nothing burger. I mean, no new information came out from Wick and Brad's press conference. I mean, there's got to be more to it. That's another takeaway I have. I mean, when you're looking at this situation as a whole, it doesn't really make sense that Udoka has been suspended the entire season for a consensual relationship. There's got to be more to it. Now, we did hear Matt Barnes say on Twitter, and if Matt Barnes is saying it's bad, it's bad. Matt Barnes had this minute-long video saying how bad it was, how he heard what happened, and apologized for defending Ime and saying it's 100 times worse than we thought. There's got to be more to it. We just don't know all the details, and the players don't know either. Brad Stevens and Wick and whoever have to have a sit-down with the players and talk to them about why their head coach has been suspended the entire season. That's ridiculous to me. And Mazulla, though, is saying all the right things. New head coach Joe Mazulla really impressed me yesterday. It's not an easy situation for him to be in. I understand, he's in this, situation where he's 34 years old. youngest head coach in the NBA, and he's coaching a contender, you might say, oh man, this is a dream for him. And it probably is, but still it's a difficult situation to have the head coach suspended, your boss suspended, have to step in 2 weeks before the preseason starts. So not an easy situation for Joe Mazulla to be in, but he said all of the right things yesterday. And I think the players have faith in Joe Mazulla, someone who's been on the Celtics bench as an assistant for 3 years. They have faith in their new head coach, at least their head coach for this season. Here's what Jayson Tatum said about Joe Mazulla. He's someone we're comfortable with. He's been here the last 3 years, so same person, just in a different position now. He's someone that we're familiar with and have a lot of respect for. Marcus Smart chimed in as well. I have a really good relationship with Joe. I think pretty much everyone on the team does. Joe's been here through the hard times, through the good times. He knows and understands us as players. He's built relationships with us, so we love Joe. We're excited to be able to work with him and this opportunity he has. So all the players that chimed in on Joe yesterday, I should say, really sung his praises. But I want to ask you, because I know the players have confidence in Joe, but do you have confidence in Joe Mazulla to be the Celtics head coach? You've had about a week to reflect on this since I asked this question last week after Ime was suspended, or at least the report came out about the scandal. Scale it 1 to 10. Down in the comments section, I'm going to be honest, I have confidence in Joe. I do. I think he's going to do a damn good job and maybe be promoted to a permanent head coach. But what Joe is in right now, the situation he's in right now, and the situation that Ime and the Celtics are in, this is a test run. This is a trial for Joe Mazulla. If the Celtics underachieve this year, let's say they get bounced first or second round, they're probably not going to promote Joe and bring back Ime. But if they make the finals again and win the finals, you got your new head coach in Joe Mazulla. If not, Ime's coming back. Guys, go down, subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/Celtics TV. We're going to keep you posted on Celtics news and rumors leading up to the start of the 2022-2023 NBA season.